My name's Adam Montgomery, and I love to cook. I've been cooking since I was a kid, and today I want to show you how to make a really simple white soft cheese. It's a really simple process with just a few ingredients. First, you need to get a gallon of vitamin D milk. Then, to separate the curds from the whey, I'm going to use, I measure it out to be just above half of a cup, in between a half of a cup and 2/3 of a cup of distilled white vinegar. And I'm going to flavor my cheese today with some cilantro. I'm going to roast a clove of garlic, and I'm going to roast a jalapeno next to it. And for that, I'm going to use my toaster oven, but you can actually do it in the oven, but I love my toaster oven, so I'm going to utilize that today, where I just cut the top of the garlic clove off and pour a little olive oil over it, throw it in the cupcake tin, and that just keeps it really uniform and easy to work with. Then I'm going to throw a little olive oil over the jalapeno in the cupcake tin as well. Put that on 400 degrees and bake it for about 30 minutes or so, checking on it regularly to see where that is at. The whole process should take about 30 to 45 minutes to make the cheese, and then you have to hang it for an hour to 2 hours depending on how much liquid comes out of it, and then you refrigerate it overnight or all throughout an afternoon. I would say you have to give it probably at least 5 hours or so to set up and really become a really nice piece of cheese. So let's get this process started. Since the garlic takes a significant amount of time, I think I'm going to start with that. Garlic clove was pretty big, so throw that in the cupcake tin. Got a couple extra pieces. Get a little olive oil. Just drizzle a little bit over the top. Take my jalapeno. Now you can flavor this cheese with anything. This is just one of the ways that I like to make it because I think these flavors go really well together. Olive oil over the pepper. Now the pepper might actually be done before the garlic. A lot of times I'll actually saute these in a pan as well. That's actually probably the way I do it most, but I figured this would just be a really simple and easy way to do it. Put my toaster oven on. Oh, it's already on 400 degrees, and put it just past 30 minutes. Some of the equipment that you're going to be needing is a cutting board to cut the stuff on. You need a big pot, wooden spoon because you want to stir this every few minutes because milk will burn. One thing that you really have to pay attention when you're doing this is you don't have to temp it, but you don't want to cook it on more than medium heat because milk will burn very easily, and if you burn the milk, the whole process is bad and you have to start over again. What I like to do is when I'm watching the milk, when I know it's about to start almost being hot enough, is I really pay attention to it, and I look to see right when it's about to bubble over, and the second it does, immediately kill the heat, and then you add the vinegar to it, and I'll show you that process in just a little bit. So, turn my burner on. Put it just about at medium heat. Pour the whole gallon of milk in. Now because this milk is cold, it's going to take a while to heat up. Like I said, you want to keep stirring it every few minutes, probably every 4 or 5 minutes or so. Just make sure that you don't burn the milk. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, and I'm starting to see the milk steam, so this is when I really pay attention. Now, if you're going to temp it, which is totally nothing wrong with that. It might make the process a little bit easier. I think it's about 195 degrees or so when milk starts to boil. Roughly about that. I like to eyeball it myself, just to, that way I know that I'm really paying attention to the process and not relying on a temperature gauge, and I can just, you know, for me in this particular recipe, it just makes me pay attention a little bit more. The milk is steaming, which to me indicates that in a couple of minutes or less it should start to boil over. If the milk comes directly out of your fridge, it might take a little bit longer, more like a half an hour. I went to the store and bought the gallon of milk, and then it sat out for probably about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes before I started shooting this video. So it wasn't ice cold, but it was still cold. So again, during this process I'm just waiting for it to boil, and then I immediately take it off the heat and I pour, you can use lemon juice, anything acidic really, lime juice, and in this case I'm using distilled white vinegar. So we're just about there. Now when you do this, you want to pour it in slowly. Oh, actually, I need to take this off the heat. Let's do that first. Take it off the heat. And I'm going to move my spoon in one direction. Pour it in slowly. Now you'll really see it start to separate. At this point, it's becoming nice and clumpy, and you can totally see the difference between the curds and the whey. The whey becomes, you know, more clear, almost a yellowish color. And the curds are big chunks, which essentially at this point is cheese, but you need to let it set a little bit more. Oh yeah, perfect. And that's it. That's really the first part of making the cheese. Get a lid. Cover it and just let it sit for about 30 minutes. That's really going to let it set up. And then in the meantime, I'm going to chop up my cilantro, the jalapeno, the garlic, and some green onions, and I'll have that all chopped up and I'll show you what the next process is. So now that the cheese has been sitting for about a half an hour, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it, and I'm just going to strain it using a regular wire mesh strainer, and I put a colander underneath it just in case anything gets through it. So, we'll do that. This is just to get the majority of the liquid out. Still going to have to pretty much repeat this process again, but I'll add cheesecloth to it so then we can have something to trap it in. So there is still a little bit of liquid in here, but that's quite alright. So that's going to drip off later anyways. So I got my green onions that I chopped up and throw those in. Got a mix of the roasted garlic and jalapeno. Throw all that in. Got my cilantro chopped up, throw that in. And some seasoning salt, otherwise this cheese would be a little bit bland. Just a regular all seasoning. You could also use cracked pepper, regular salt. Experiment with it. This whole process is really all about having fun. I'm going to stir this up. Just give it a rough stir. It doesn't have to be anything impressive. Lay it in your strainer. I'm going to let that sit for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to put it into a ball. I thought I'd show you the cheese, what it looks like before I actually put it into a ball. So this is your curds, and I've got all the ingredients in it. Got it in the cheesecloth. Now I'm gonna wrap that up tightly, which forms it into a ball, and then I'm gonna string it up with some string that I have. Let it chill for about an hour, dripping off. Then I'm gonna throw it in my fridge overnight, and I'll have some cheese. So now I have the cheese hanging just over a bowl. Like I said, it's going to take at least probably an hour. You'll see it'll stop dripping, and then you're pretty much good. And then from there, you just throw it in the fridge till it becomes nice and firm, and you're good to go. You have some wonderful cheese. I mean, really, you can eat it at any point right now, but it's really, the flavors don't really marry together as well. And if you let it sit overnight, it's just going to be awesome, trust me. So I hope that was an informative and fun process for you guys to watch. Thanks for checking out my video.